Hey guys, it's Greg from Beastie Geeks, and this time we want to share again another title from Essen Spiel. This time it's Silver Coin. It's a game that we discovered during the fair. It was captivating from the beginning. We just saw it somewhere in the booth, and we were just it got our attention immediately. So Silver Coin is a game where players are monster hunters. And the goal of the game is to be the richest monster hunter. So game takes 2 years, and in this period of time you need to just gather the most money. The wealthiest player is the winner. So this is the goal of the game. And what else I can say about the Silver Coin? So it's a very dark fantasy. There is a lot of influence from local folklore, and it feels a little bit like maybe a Witcher, because you are that monster hunter and you are taking those missions, those wanted lists, and you are trying to kill the monsters to get more and more wealth. So it's very interesting, it's very dark, and it's something quite unique, not seen on the market, I think, yet. What I must say that what I'm going to show you that is a prototype, so all the components are not final, and rules are also not final, so just keep this in mind. So in this video I want to share with you the rules of the game, the quite detailed rules of the game, so that's why the video is that so long. But I think that when you will see all those rules and see how all those mechanics and how they work, that will give you an impression of what can you expect from Silver Coin, which is going to be on a Kickstarter soon. So let's start, and let me show you what is Silver Coin. Alright, so first of all, what I need to say is that this is a prototype, so the components are not final. I think we have a lot of placeholders, we don't have final graphics and so on. And the second thing is, guys are still working on the rules, so I don't think there's gonna be a groundbreaking changes, but I know they are working on it and still adjusting some things. Right, so the game is very complex and takes a lot of space on the table, as you can see. So I think I am just gonna go through all the phases of the game, and thanks to this I am gonna explain you all the mechanics and components of the game. I must say this is a rather complex game, and so that's why I am trying to go just step by step and not randomly just talking about different things that you can see on the table. So phases of the game. Game starts with bidding phase. That's just this phase is only at the beginning of the game, and it's like a part of the setup, because during the bidding phase you are going to choose your hero, your starting location, and your starting let's say resources. So depending on how many players are playing, you're going to use those boards, and on those spaces over here you're going to put firstly characters, secondly starting location, and finally those extra resources. So you and your opponents are going to bid for each of those elements, and depending if you are focused on some kind of character and location and you really want to get it, of course you can start bidding from the bottom. Someone else can outbid you and let's say put his or her token over here. So in the same time he loses some of the starting cash, because if you would win this bidding just placing your bid over here, you would get a character and 100 gold. But if someone outbidded you, and that person will get 70, and again maybe 40 or no starting bonuses. So this is the bidding phase. As I said, you are going to bid for characters. You're gonna put them over like here and start bidding. So you're using as many characters as there's a player. So in 2-player game you're gonna just use 2 characters and just bid for them. You can get character and money. Second thing is starting location. So again you are just taking those cards showing different type of kingdoms. those are just represented by different colors and of course icons over here. You're going to choose them randomly. I just took those two cards from the top of the deck, and again the same thing. You're bidding, you can get more money, more gold, or you can get a location that is more interesting, more attractive for you. And the final thing are those cards with starting resources, let's say. So those cards shows us which school of magic is going to be your starting school of magic, and what kind of flow is going to be in your pool. And we have two types of flow: magical flow. This magical flow and physical flow. So again, if you are lucky, you can get your things that are interesting for you, and you can get 300 gold at the beginning of the game. And as I said in the intro, the goal of the game is to have the most gold. Okay, so as I said, auction phase is a part of the setup, and now we can go to the game rounds. And the game sequence is split into 3 phases: preparation phase, action phase, and cleanup phase. So let's start with preparation phase. In preparation phase, you can do one of those 3 things: draft 2 kingdom cards, play kingdom card, and exchange 1 kingdom card. So what are those kingdom cards? So we have a display of kingdom cards over here, and those cards are of course connected to kingdoms on a board. So maybe I will say a few things about kingdoms on the board. So we have different kingdoms represented with colors, and the same colors and the same icons are on those kingdom cards. Kingdoms are of course connected by the roads. All players can also travel between the capitals of each of the kingdom by the sea, and some of the characters can also teleport. But what is important, that in this phase players can have those cards in their hand. Base maximum hand is 3, but you can upgrade your hands and have more of those cards. So cards are, as I said, in colors of each of the kingdom, and on each of those cards we have those symbols. This shoe, which is representing movement; this star, that's experience; this circle, that represents flow, and this hand is a reputation. So player can play cards in 2 ways, or player can play cards in the same color. So for example, if someone have those 2 cards, those 2 cards can be played together, as those cards are in the same color. Or players can play cards that has the same symbol. So for example, we have reputation on this card and on this card. Yes, so we have and maybe on this card. So we have 3 colors, and we can only use, we can play those 3 colors, but we only can use those symbols that are the same. So in this example, and only 1 symbol, because stars are also the same, but you need to choose which of the symbols you want to activate. So for example, in this example, you are activating the reputation symbol. In situation where you're playing cards in the same color, like the first example, you can play all of the symbols. I mean, one symbol on each of the cards. So, and why those colors are important? Because that should represent your actions in specific kingdoms. So playing cards in 1 color should represent that your character is very eagerly working in this specific country. So for example, in here you are just working out and trying to increase your reputation or increase your experience. So as I said, the first phase of the game is preparation phase, and players can draft 2 kingdom cards. So players can draft 2 cards from the display or card from the stack, or they can play kingdom cards in a way in a way that I just explained, or players can exchange one kingdom card from their hand with one of the cards in a display. And players can only do one of those things per round of the game. So it's one action. So now let's go through all the icons that are on the cards. On this card we have all icons. So as I said, a shoe shows us how far we can move. So this shoe will grant us 4 movement. This hand represents reputation. So playing this card and using this icon, you will get 2 reputation. Star represents experience. So this is how many cubes of experience you can get. And the flow represents how many flows you can get. As I said, physical or magical. And what kind of flow you will get depends on what kind of character you have. So let's take rider. This is a placeholder. There will be some kind of art here. So if would rider play this card and use this card to gain 2 flow, rider needs to check the symbol of this kingdom, need to check what kind of flow he or she will get playing this card and get this amount of flow. So in this example, rider would get 2 physical flow because this kingdom is below this symbol, and this symbol means physical flow. Now the second thing, the reputation. So in this game we have 2 reputation tracks. Reputation, just a track for reputation, and a bonus reputation track. So each time the player gains reputation, he or she also moves on a bonus reputation track, and this is that much smaller and shorter track below. So advancing on those tracks, first of all, allows you to get different type of bonuses. So in here we have health potion. In here we can get cards that allows us to travel on using boats. We can get cards. We can be moved higher on a turn order, and so on and so on. We can get more cards, and that shorter bonus tracks. At the end of this track, we have tokens. Each of these token is just some kind of bonus. So if someone gets this, it's 100 gold, or it's a card, I think, or that's knowledge. So first player at the end of this track just gets the token, gets the bonus, and everyone is moved back to the beginning of the track, and again the race starts from the beginning, from the start. So this is reputation. Movement. We have, let's go through another action, movement. So the board, this actually is neoprene mat, but what I know that in core game, in the normal version of the game, this is going to be a board. So movement. Places on the map are represented by shields, and we have different type of shields. Gold shield represents capital. Those brown shields represents towns and cities. We have also silver shields, and those are places of magical power. So if you go there, you can get one of the basic schools of magic which are over there. And at the beginning, as I said, as you've seen before, you are also starting with some kind of school of magic, and you can only have one of these. What else we have here? We have those dots and dashes and dots and dashes. Those are shortcuts. You can use them only with specific card, with specific abilities, so those are not used at the beginning of the game. And the last thing is those round two last things, those round locations over here with this rosebud or flower or whatever. So those are the places where you can gather herbs. In each kingdom we have 2 places like this. So for example, in this red kingdom we have one here and one here. So if your miniature your hero is entering this location with this symbol, over here we have another display of cards. This time this is a display of herbs. And when you are entering this location, you can do two things. You can just regain one of your lost health points, or you can pick herbs that are available in this kingdom. And in this setup we only have one card connected to Red Kingdom, so only this herb can be obtained right now in Red Kingdom. And those cards are split into two areas, upper and lower. And those are just, you need to pick one of those bonuses that are granted by this herb. So 3 physical flow, or 2 antidotums, and 1 flow of your choice. And last final location is in here. That's ancient knowledge location. You can go there to gain extra token of knowledge that will be very useful during development of your character, but I will go through this in a moment. So those are actions and things that you can do on the board, and more or less those are all actions that you can do and perform in this first phase of game round, the preparation phase. Now action phase. So on your player's board, which is looking right now like this. I'm not sure, maybe they are going to change it. We have, so this is the slot for your character. I'm gonna go through this in a moment again. So this is your board. Here is a place for your cubes of 2 flows. This is a place for your experience. And here is a place where you are going to put your kingdom knowledge tokens. If you are in each of the kingdoms, you can only get 1 of the kingdom knowledge. That's why this ancient knowledge is very useful, because thanks to this you can unlock extra 1 row or column on this grid. So every time when you put 2 kingdom knowledge in 1 row, you can unlock the bonus that is at the end of this row. Each time when you have 4 kingdom knowledge in this column, you can unlock the bonus below. So that's why those extra tokens are so important. So this is a way to upgrade your character. You can increase your starting hand size, you can get more flow, you can get more reputation, you can get extra magical weapon that is very useful during the combats, and so on and so on. Next thing that we have on the board are those spaces below over here. We have 3 spaces for your action discs, and actions that you can perform are over here. This red circle means that if you want to do 3rd action in this game round, you need to spend 1 physical flow. And if you want to perform this action, you also need to spend 1 physical flow to do this action. And now I'm going to go through all those actions again. So in the action phase, each player is going to perform 1 action, and then another player, and then another player, till everyone performs 2 actions. And finally, if someone can or want to do 3rd action, and at the end of the rounds, that's gonna be possible for them. And what you can do during action phase. So you have 4 actions that are on your player board, and there are also extra actions that are global actions, and they are shared by all players, and they are over here. So first of all, I'm gonna explain actions that are only on your player board. This action is combined action, and this one allows you to move and perform location action. So that shoe in a square means that you need to spend a card in a color of a kingdom where you are at this moment. So if you are in a purple kingdom and you are going to spend purple card with, let's say, move 3, then you can move by 3. And this meeple below means that you can perform actions in this specific location. And where you can perform actions? You can perform actions in a capital, you can perform actions in a place where you know there is a monster and you want to kill this monster, or you can perform actions, as I said, in those places where you are going to gather herbs, as I explained. And more or less, I think that's it. And those are all things that you can do in this on the map. The second action that you can perform is movement, and this movement is quite specific because this movement doesn't need to you don't need to spend cards to perform this movement. And how this works: so first of all, base movement is 5, so you can move by 5, but this move can be influenced in many ways, because if you have, for example, if you have a horse, you can increase this movement by 2, I think. Second thing that influences your movement is the weather. So you need to check the weather and see if you have, for example, clear weather and there's no penalty, or maybe there's a rain and your movement is decreased by 1, or maybe there's a rainstorm and the penalty is -2. So this is the second thing that can influence you. And another thing is speed potion that you can drink and again increase your speed by 4. And those are elements, those are things that can influence your move. So you are just doing some simple math and you can see how many moves you can perform using this action, how many spaces you can go. So the next action is just simply actions in a location where you are and in this moment, and I'm gonna skip this one because it's rather complicated and there's a lot of talking, so I'm gonna explain those easier one. So the next one just allows you to exchange one flow to another one flow, and the final action that you can do only when you spend one physical flow is just exchanging one of your kingdom cards with another kingdom card from the display. And now let's go back to this action in here with this meeple. This is the location action, and why I said this is complex, because depending on where you are, different things you can perform. So now, 2 locations, capital and the place where you can battle monsters. So maybe let's start with capital. So if you're visiting capital, the place with the place on the map with this golden shield, you can do different things. All right, so now let's go through this location action. As I said, you can perform this in 2 places. First of all, in capital. Second place is a place on the map where you know there is a monster and you want to fight it. So let's start with capital. You can do, again, a lot of things in capitals. First of all, you can visit a tavern. In tavern, you can get your mission. So over here you have this board with different colorful cards. And again, this represents how many mission cards are in each of the kingdoms. In blue kingdom we have 2 missions. In this black kingdom we have one in red, one in purple, 2 in yellow, and 2 in green. So for example, let's say I am in a capital of blue kingdom and I'm taking this mission in this tavern. And what do we have here? First of all, we have this token that shows us which deck of monster I should take. This brown is, I think, the easiest one. On this card we also have information where is this monster, so it's in here. We have information how far is this location from the capital, so it's 6, we need to spend 6 movements to go there, or 4 if we unlocked shortcuts through the mountains, and that's it. So this is our card. This token is going back to supply, and now we should take one card with monster. So let's say that's our monster. I choose this one. It's Swamp Worm. And what informations we have on this card? All right, so first of all, here are our awards. Gold that we can get killing this monster, reputation, experience, but also how many kingdom knowledge we need to have. If we will have less knowledge than is depicted here, the monster will be just more powerful. That means that we didn't prepare, so we are just too weak. We didn't read enough books, and Swamp Worm can do tricks on us, and we don't know how to suppress them. So knowledge. This monster is also poisonous, and this sword means that we can use this special sword that we can unlock during the game. The next thing are those two numbers over here. So this monster has 3 health points, and his power is 10. So basically, you just need to roll at least 10 on your dice to hurt him. And now, in the centerpiece of the center of this card, we have modifiers. And thanks to those modifiers, we need to calculate again, doing a little bit of math, how powerful this monster will be. So we need to check what kind of location. In what kind of location this monster is. So if we would have some kind of icons over here, like those trees somewhere on this card, that would mean this location is in the forests, and this monster in forests gets +1. But unfortunately we don't have trees in here, so this means this monster doesn't get this extra bonus. Here we have extra bonuses for us, because this fist are bonuses for us, and these gloves are bonuses for monster. So if we have those 2 dice in our pool, we have +1 strength. If we have another 2 blue dice, another +1 strength. If you are at full health, max health, another +1 power for us. So basically we need to subtract or increase his base power depending on which kind, how those modifiers apply to our situation, and we cannot forget about this kingdom knowledge in here. So in this example, let's say we have 3 kingdom knowledge. So after calculations, let's say we have all those dice, so we just need to 10 minus 3, so it's 7. So on our dice we need to roll at least 7 to make a hit and take 1 of his health points. 3 hits and this monster dies, and we get all out of our rewards over here. This is basically combat. So now you know why this kingdom knowledge is very important, and why you need to plan to visit as many kingdoms as possible, because in each kingdom you can get only 1 of those tokens. And first of all, you are unlocking those bonuses over here, and the second thing, monsters are much easier to kill when you have enough of the kingdom knowledge. The second thing, what you can do in a capital, you can visit the docks, and you can travel using a boat to different capital, just like that. The next thing is visit the merchants. So you can just go to a merchant and purchase potions, basically. You can purchase a horse, of course. You can purchase ship journey, allow to move to sea, and you have health potions for 60, you have strength potion, you have antidote and poison potion, and so on. There's not much of these. I think I just... Oh yeah, and there's that speed potion. And it's more or less, I think that's it. So there's not much. Oh, you know, might potion, sorry. Might potion during full moon or night, +2 strength for us. And that's it. So this is the next thing you can do in the capital. This next thing is visit the townsfolk. Now, as you can see over here, we have the display of cards, another display of cards, and each of those 2 cards are connected to different kingdom, again, depending on the color. So those 2 are for these, those 2 are for these, and so on and so on. Those are of course randomly picked at the beginning of during the setup. So what do we have here? For each of the kingdom, of course, we have a king or queen, and that is somehow influencing and changing rules in this kingdom. And the second card are those townsfolk, and those townsfolk can grant us extra things. So let's start with kings. So in this example, in this blue kingdom in Oldemore, we have the scholar. So we'll give 1 experience for completing a mission from this kingdom. So completing missions in this kingdom grants you 1 extra experience. And in this kingdom we have also librarian. So if you spend 1 experience and learn kingdom knowledge, 1 per player. So this is specific extra way to gain kingdom knowledge, because normally in blue kingdom you can get only 1 token of knowledge. What else we have here? For example, this one, Fearful, he will pay 1 extra 20 gold for killing monsters in his kingdom. But this one, Unforgiving, if you return the mission card from this kingdom or lose a fight with its monster, you can no longer take missions from this kingdom. So you will fulfill the quests or you cannot enter the Green Kingdom anymore. And here is also specific townsfolk, because that's Plague Doctor. And where he is located, there is a plague. Any player that enters the kingdom has to draw a plague token, and all monsters in the region are poisonous. So very specific. This is another thing that you can do. You can visit townsfolk, and finally you can visit the Great Library, so you can finally spend your experience to gain this kingdom knowledge. So for example, being in this blue kingdom, I'm spending this card. I need to spend card with this symbol, and thanks to this, I can get kingdom knowledge, those tokens that are used to develop your character. If you are on a location where is a monster, so in our example, where is my card? So in our example, if we would be in this file B, let's say that's how you should say it. So it's in here. If you are in this location, you can perform this location action and start battle with the monster. Those are all actions that you can perform from your player board, from those actions. But that's not all. There are also global actions, which are placed over here in the corner, and there is 6 of them, and those are like this. First of all, you can exchange 2 of your flow on 1 XP or 1 XP on 2 of flow of your choice. You can get 1 experience. You can get 1 kingdom card from the deck. You can get 1 reputation, and if you will spend a physical flow, you can be first on a turn order. Or you can, this is specific action, because it allows you to fight with ghosts, and you cannot fight ghosts if you don't have specific ability unlocked. So thanks to this action, if no one else uses this, you can fight ghosts, ghosts, without this ability. And the final action in here allows you to purchase a dice from one of those 3 places and go up by 1 on a turn order. Now, those dice here, you can of course get them in different ways. You can get them by advancing on reputation track. So when you are on 17, you can get dice from here, and that's it. Maybe you can get dice from one of those bonus tiles on this bonus reputation track, or you can purchase dice performing this global action in here, and depending from which stack you are taking, different amounts of experience you need to spend. So in here you need to spend 1 experience, from this pool you need to spend 2 experience, and from this pool you need to spend 3 experience. Colors are very useful depending on what kind of skills you have, because if you have fire magic, as you can see, before battle choose dice of 1 color. This magic activates on a roll of 6. Spend 2 magical flower to use. Monster loses 1 HP. So colorful dice are important if you have specific powerful cards, and if you don't have those cards, those dice are also, results on those dice are also taken into account when you are trying to fight monsters. And now the final thing. Alright, so let's say all players perform 2 of their actions and they don't want to perform another one. So then you are just moving this marker over here by 1. So it should be over here, because that was March, now we are in April. And also, I showed you this earlier, we have different weather in each of the months. So in March we had rain, and if we would perform a move action, that move action would be with penalty -1. Now penalty is -2. But what I want to show you are those icons over here, and those are also important things. So if we don't have anything, that means that's normal round, and I just explained you the normal round. You are performing actions, and that's it. Those arrows over here shows you that you should now discover weather card for another season. So this is spring. So now we should discover another card for summer to see what kind of weather is going to be in the summer. So some kind of forecasting. But we also have this flow in here in this circle, and this icon means that in this month flow is let's say flowing through the kingdoms. There's a lot of the flow, there's a lot of magical power, and thanks to this, each character can use this skill which is below over here. So this action below this symbol can be used only in this round when we have this symbol representing flow round. The final type of round that is in this game is this round, and this round is again a bidding phase, but a little bit different, because this time you're not bidding for characters or starting locations. You're bidding for those blue powerful cards which are over here, and you're bidding using your kingdom cards. So each kingdom card in corner has different number. In secret, you're choosing how many cards you want and to spend. And if your number is the highest, you are the first to pick one of the cards which are displayed over there. Those are very powerful cards with spells, with extra skills that allows you to use the shortcuts and so on to get those extra knowledge tokens. So very important, very powerful, but again you are spending your kingdom cards to get them. And this is the last part of this game. You need to use all of those mechanics. You need to merge them together to be the wealthiest monster hunter and win the game. Alright, so that's a silver coin. More or less I explained more than less rules in this game, so I think you should have feeling what to expect from this game. We, as I said, discovered this during Essen Spiel this year, and this was real eye candy. We liked it just at the beginning, and I am sure we are going to follow this campaign when it will start. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next game.